Hello everybody, good morning, welcome back to the Paper Round. Back by popular demand, we are back with all of your headlines from the Sunday papers. We are looking into the fixtures this afternoon as well. In the Premier League, we are looking ahead to all of the big games. We're going to get your thoughts in the live chat as well. And obviously, we're going to dig right into the papers. I've got my paper here with me. I've got not my croissant, it's a brioche bun today, everybody. Sorry about that. I know anybody who watched the channel, anybody who has watched the Paper Round before, it was always the croissant. Sorry, I'm letting you down on the first one back. We will rectify that for the next week's show and bring the croissant back into town. And if we have a good show, I will eat it. That's the promise. That was the thing that we had before, and we're back. We're doing the same again. Thank you, everybody, for joining us in the chat. And keep your comments coming in. I can see them all up on my screen right here. Sorry about the tiny little bit of a delay. We had a few technical issues, kick-starting everything, but we're good to go now. We've got my paper in front of me. We're going Daily Mail this morning. That's where we're starting with the Ange Postecoglou story. So if there is any Spurs fans in there, give us your thoughts. I know Harper in the chat there is a Spurs fan. He'll have a lot to say regarding Ange Postecoglou. Is the Carabao Cup his saviour? Does he need a trophy? The continuous questions in every single press conference that this man has to face regarding his second season trophy, well, I won't say syndrome, but I think one time he made a comment about winning a trophy in his second season, and the media have just absolutely bombarded him with questions forever and a day in every post and pre-match press conference going. But I feel like the trophy and Spurs being in the semi-final of the Carabao Cup is helping him a lot. It's getting him past the, let's just say, the difficulty in consistent performances and results. I mean, to be honest, no, I'm going to go back on that one, actually. In terms of performances, Ange Postecoglou, I feel, is getting performances. I think we know exactly what's coming. We know what his team is all about. We know where his positives are in his style of play. Injuries have ravaged that squad with Spurs, and I feel like he's in a position right now where I think the Carabao Cup is definitely saving him, but the headline basically is Cog turning up the fun factor. So Postecoglou, I think it's Andrew Townsend talking about this in the paper today. He is bringing joy back to Spurs, and it's actually enjoyable to watch them. You can say that, even from the outside as United fan, as everybody knows. I enjoy watching Spurs. I don't think there's any opposition fan in the country that doesn't enjoy watching Spurs. And I feel like he is the type of manager that if he gets it right, if he gets back in January, he will definitely be the manager for Spurs for years to come that they've been craving. I mean, if he gets, say for instance, the Carabao Cup, if he makes that win and gets that trophy in the cabinet, I think it'll be on from there. I do like him. You cannot not like him, can you? I mean, the headline basically is saying, look, is it the cup or nothing? Has this sack date been set for Ange Postecoglou? They ship goals. They're crap at the back. Let's not forget they're missing big players like Van der Ven and his constant hamstring issues. Obviously, Romero's been out injured as well, and Ragusan as well at the centre of that defence. They are struggling. Still managed to beat United, though. I think we can remember that as Reds fans. But they conceded 3 goals in that game. The keeper not being fit and available for them as well. Vicario, I mean, that is a massive loss. And we put all of that into perspective. You put that all into what's actually going on right now, the pressure that he's under as well. I think Spurs are actually coping quite well. When you look at the league table, they're like United. They're 1 point ahead of United, 10 points off top 4, and you could say it's a disaster. I think the injuries that they've had compared to, say, for United this season, they've got an excuse, a little bit of an excuse. They're still playing better football. You look at Spurs' goal difference, plus 13 goal difference, and that being so bad gives you hope. This is like the age-old saying, isn't it? If you're scoring goals, you've always got a chance. If you're not scoring goals, the decline's just going to keep on continuing. I think that's the difference between United and Spurs at the moment is Spurs have got goals in them. United don't. And we could say, look, we scored 3 against them. We were gifted 2 by the goalkeeper, Forster. And since then, we've not scored in the next 2 games. We draw blanks against Bournemouth at home and Wolves away from home, where Spurs just carry on scoring. Even when they shipped goals against Liverpool, they still managed to score 3. If they've got their defenders back, is that a tighter game? Yes, of course it is. Do Liverpool get through Spurs as easy if Van der Ven and Romero, Ragusan and everyone is playing in that game together and they've got their solid back four? Well, you could say solid. That's up for debate as well. But still, when you've got your recognised defenders back in that side, it definitely works in your favour. And I think that's what they're up against, and that's what Ange Postecoglou is up against. Ange aiming for special finish. Ange Postecoglou remains bullish about being able to salvage Tottenham's season and create something special. Spurs host Wolves this afternoon in poor form and battling an equally bad list of absentees with 8 players ruled out. Boss Ange Postecoglou said, I get where people kind of look at my situation and think, geez, he needs to do something or else he's going to be in trouble. But I don't think that way. It's not how I am wired. He's wired in a way where you could easily say, look, he's one of them stubborn managers that's just going to continue playing his way. Eventually, it will come through. Ask Celtic fans. I know it's the Scottish Premier League. I know it's a different level of football. But Ange Postecoglou, I think, is one of them. I'll use it as a United example here right now, is that I would have taken Ange Postecoglou at United ahead of Ten Hag. If you'd offered me one of the two managers, I would always go with Ange Postecoglou. I think his football's good to watch, and I think with the right players, and if Spurs back Ange Postecoglou in the transfer window, I think Spurs move. I think Spurs really do move forward, and I think they are definitely a top 6 side, 100%. I think we'll see when Van der Ven comes back, the fixtures sort of ease off a little bit, because I think Spurs will get into the automatic qualification places within Europe as well. So he's got that to play for. I mean, look, Spurs could be looking at a cup double. Be realistic. Be realistic. I mean, can Spurs win the League Cup? Favourites for that competition, you have to say probably Liverpool. How important is it to Liverpool? They're obviously chasing the title. They have got their own issues in-house at the moment, obviously with the news that now Trent Alexander-Arnold is wanting to leave. Arsenal are in that competition. Newcastle are playing well. Can Spurs beat any of them teams on their day? Yeah. In a knockout game? Yeah. So as a Spurs fan right now, you're not doing well in the league, but you're in the Carabao Cup semi-final. You've still got a great chance in the Europa League as well. And this season could really turn around. It's one of them, it could go completely off the scale, as in fall away completely and Spurs have another Spursy season, or it could be one of them seasons where they get a cup double and move up into the European places. That's easily doable for Spurs right now. And would Spurs fans accept that? I mean, tell me. I think personally that Spurs are, I think, where they should be right now with the injuries that they've got, the competitions that they're in. The FA Cup still to come, obviously. That's starting next month as well. A couple of wins in the league, and Spurs are back up in there into the top 6 or 7, and no one's really kicking up a stink. Plus 13 goal difference, entertaining football. What is there to moan about? I just don't see it with Spurs right now. I don't see why everyone's complaining. I don't think that many of the Spurs fans are overly thinking. I don't mean to say this in any sort of disrespectful way. They're not in the Spursy type of thinking mode right now. I think they're still optimistic and upbeat, and I think Postecoglou is definitely the man to actually take Spurs forward. When it comes to other stories and men to take teams forward, we've already done a live show on Pep Guardiola and gifting the title to Liverpool, but at the back of the Mail on Sunday, there is talk. Pep issues rallying cry ahead of historic 500th game at Manchester City. 500 games, Jesus! I have to stay and fix this. Can he fix it though? City's demise has been it's been great for us. It's been great for everyone else in the Premier League seeing City fall. And obviously, you've got to think, like, on top of this, you've got all of the financial fair play going on and all of the charges that are happening right now. I look at that City side. I look at the charges that are coming. It could, and I'm not just saying this because I'm a United fan and I hope this happens, but you could just see everything. You could just see everything falling apart for Manchester City. You really could. I feel like that this could be the start of a new era of City going back to what it was before. Because, yeah, they could invest money, and they probably will spend now and back Pep Guardiola, and it will be a complete turnaround. But I just don't think he's got it anymore. I think the players are tired. I think he needs a whole new team to invest his methods and his ideas into. I think the ones that are there right now are tired. He runs them into the ground. They have so much to do. There is so much pressure on them, and he demands so much that I just feel like right now the team at City they're running out of steam. They're running out of steam. And I just look at it and go, this could be the end. Like, he's saying like he wants to turn it around. But I mean, tell me in the chat, do you feel like Pep Guardiola will be the man to carry on at Manchester City past the 2 years that he's got on his contract? Let me know about Ange Postecoglou as well in the chat, everybody. A few comments coming in. Harper, who is a Tottenham fan. The reason Spurs fans are complaining is coming from the unsettled sense of expectation. That's an interesting one. Spurs are a big six financial club, but not one of achievement, and the fans confuse the two. I think that's a sensible comment there from JT. It is. If they get it right though, then Spurs can turn a corner. Look, the infrastructure at Spurs, the training ground, the stadium, the position of the club, the finances are there. They can definitely make a go of it. If they get the right back, if the manager gets the right back, and I think Ange is the man to set the stall out. I think Ange is the one to take Spurs to top four glory. Top four glory, it sounds pathetic, doesn't it? But yeah, if he goes past that, then we will see, won't we? But honestly, I do think that Ange is the right man. I don't think that Pep is the right man for City. I think City need to make a change. I said this the other day as well. And the games that are coming up, you only have to look at the fixtures today. And I looked at City's fixtures after the defeats that were coming against Aston Villa, obviously against Manchester United. I looked at them defeats and I thought, right, who've they got next? They had Everton. That was their next game. And then they've got Leicester away. I'm thinking, oh, here we go. They'll turn the corner here. But to not be able to beat Everton at home, and do you know what? I don't want to disrespect Everton in all of this. They've drew with Chelsea now. They've drew with Arsenal away from home, and they've drew with Manchester City. 3 games there that they've gone unbeaten in. You have to give Sean Dyche credit for that. You really do. But City are at Leicester today. Now, Leicester are in a bit of free fall. They had a great result against West Ham, where Ruud van Nistelrooy's first game, and everything looked a little bit better for him. But if there was a game you was going into that you weren't playing well and you wanted a particular team to be your opposition in that game and to try and turn things around or start to build a bit more confidence again, you would say it would be Leicester, wouldn't you? And Pep's probably all right. And coming out and saying this in his press conference, I have to stay to fix this. I think today's the perfect game for him. Leicester, 2:30 this afternoon, City play. I think City win that game. And then it looks a little bit different again. Can they use that as a springboard? They lost to Nottingham Forest, didn't they? And then it just fell apart again. But still, I just don't see them losing. I can't see them not winning against Leicester, but I feel like if they don't pick up, I think West Ham is the next game for them as well. I'm pretty certain it is. So they had an easy sort of run of games, and if they don't pick up 6 points in them games, then the pressure's really going to mount on Pep Guardiola. I said this in the previous video that I did on Football Talks, where I said that if Pep Guardiola was the manager of Real Madrid, Bayern Munich or Barcelona, he'd have been sacked right now. I feel like it's just because it's Manchester City he's getting away with it. I think that's what it is. Get your predictions in as well, everybody, in the chat for the games today. I'm just going to run through the fixtures quickly before we move on to the next story. So today's games in the Premier League, starting at 2:30 is City at Leicester. Everton at home to Nottingham Forest. That's an interesting game. Both teams in decent form right now, actually. I can't pick that one. I'm going to go, we'll get your score predictions in the chat. I'm just going to give my prediction as I go through the games, actually, today. So Leicester at home to City. City win for me. Everton Forest has got to draw it all over it. 100% certain that's a draw. Another great game here, not Crystal Palace at home to Southampton. Southampton have to win that game if they've got any sort of aspiration of staying up, but I think Palace win that one. I do. Spurs at home to Wolves. We've just been talking about Ange and the chance to really turn this season into a big one for Spurs. I think Spurs win today against Wolves. I do. Wolves are confident, they're buoyant. 2 wins in a row, obviously. It's a bit more upbeat with the new manager in, Victor Pereira, and obviously forgotten about Gary O'Neill now and what was going on there before. But I think still at home, I'd expect Spurs to win. And Spurs will be going into that game today, probably a little bit nervous, but expecting to get the 3 points. So definitely going to go with a Spurs win on that one. Fulham against Bournemouth, I can't even call that. That is a tough game to call. Both teams in great form. I think Fulham being at home, good at home as well this season. They probably just edge it, but I would probably pick a draw there. And Liverpool away at West Ham. They're the 6 games. There's 6 games today. I've got to go with Liverpool against West Ham. I just think Liverpool have just got it a bit between the teeth at the moment, and I think that's where they are going forward. I want to get into your comments now quickly on these, what we're saying. Plenty of conversations going on. Kaz says United are hoping that teams in the bottom half lose. No, honestly, right now I'm looking at teams around United going, we need them to lose. We need them to drop off. It's really bad when you look at it that way. It really is. But let's be honest, we cannot be looking at teams in the top 4 right now, United. That's gone. We're looking at teams around us dropping points. I mean, I looked at Brentford and Brighton getting a draw in that game yesterday, and it was like, that would have been a great result for Manchester United, but not, because we cannot take care of business ourselves. We can't even be looking at teams above us right now. So Kaz is right. We need to be looking at the teams below us. Pulling for Rude against Manchester City. Hope he can get it done. Oh, that'd be great if he did. Gareth says Barcelona sacked Xavi. Atleti wanted someone gone, and Don Carlo was facing the sack, and the fans turning against him already. The demands clubs in Spain and Italy and other top European clubs just seem to be completely different than what it is in the Premier League. And the Premier League definitely does have a sacking reputation, but at the top clubs, it's a little bit different, isn't it? It is a little bit different in the top clubs. And I don't know, like, I think the thing is with City is it's like Pep Guardiola has won them everything, and we cannot get rid of Pep Guardiola, but he would not have been at that club. He wouldn't have been at any other club in Europe if he'd have gone 1 game in 18. 1 win in 18 is a disaster for Pep Guardiola. So, yeah, definitely not. The issue with Newcastle as well, that's something to bring up. Alexander Isak. Newcastle are asking, check this out. This is a headline today in the Telegraph. Newcastle are asking 150 million for Alexander Isak. Sorry, no, that's not happening. That's the Saudi ownership trying to get some money back in and flex some muscle right there. So that's another headline. I mean, what is Isak worth? Get into the chat and tell me on that one as well. Is Alexander Isak worth anywhere near 100 million? When you look at his age, you would say definitely not. There's no future in Alexander Isak later down the line. Obviously well into his late 20s now. So no, definitely not for me. But you tell me, is Isak worth that amount of money? Does he guarantee you goals every week? That's a story in the Telegraph as well. Also, in terms of players that are performing and players that are really making an impact in the Premier League, Saka is one. Now, Bukayo Saka for me, Saka's New Year message of hope after operation. There's pictures of him in the paper in his hospital bed after undergoing surgery. The headline is injured Arsenal star Bukayo Saka sits up and gives a thumbs up in his hospital bed after undergoing surgery last night. The winger has been ruled out for around 2 months after limping out of Arsenal's 5-1 win against Crystal Palace. Now, we've seen Arsenal play Ipswich the other day and only scrape a 1-0 win at home. Arsenal's goals, and I said this about Spurs, if you're not scoring goals and you don't have that goal scoring, if you don't have that goal scorer in your side, then you are always going to struggle. I feel like Saka being injured, yes, it's all good and well, sticking the thumbs up for a picture for the papers, sending the message to the fans. He will be back in 2 months, but Arsenal can fully lose the title in the next 2 months. 100%. And I feel like that is the big worry for all Arsenal fans right now. Who is going to be that player to replace Bukayo Saka? I can't see them going into the transfer window. And Trossard has been inconsistent for me. I mean, I may be speaking out of line there. Arsenal fans may think differently. But Trossard, I feel, is definitely... he's not a Saka. He's not as consistent as Saka. He's a very good player. But I feel like that's the worry right now for Arsenal. Whereas Saka would bring you that little bit more, he would create a bit more, he would score goals for you. I feel like the lack of goals at Arsenal this season is why they are not going to challenge. I mean, yes, they beat Crystal Palace 5-1, and Jesus has had a massive turnaround in form, scoring 5 goals in 2 games against a poor defensive outfit in Crystal Palace in them games, let's be fair. But he isn't going to be your goal scorer that bridges the difference and that gap to Liverpool. Liverpool have got goal scorers all over that front line. You only have to look like Gakpo is turning it out right now. So when Núñez isn't doing well, you've got Gakpo. You've got Jota there as well. You've got Diaz. You've got Mo Salah, for God's sake. Like the list of players that could score goals for Liverpool is why they are at the top of the table. The fall-off in form for Manchester City proves the point as well. Haaland's not scoring goals, City are not winning. Foden's not scoring goals, De Bruyne's not scoring goals, Grealish, Silva, none of them are scoring goals. I think Silva's only got, 3 goals this season? Has Grealish scored? I think Foden's got 2. Haaland's not scored in 4, I think it is right now. Goals are what win you titles. And when you've got goals going in from all over your front line like Liverpool have, it's why Liverpool will walk the league this season. City have fallen away because of it. Arsenal will struggle because of it and struggle to keep up. And Saka here in the paper giving the thumbs up. It's a message to the fans to say, stick with us. Hopefully we can grind this out. But it is going to be incredibly difficult for Arsenal, I feel now, to even think about challenging without the likes of Saka. You cannot replace that quality. And when it comes to £100 million players, talking about Isaac there at Newcastle and what they think, I think Saka is probably closer to a £100 million player than anybody in the Premier League right now in forward lines. It really is. And I think he is that much of a miss. You look at the table, Liverpool with a game in hand are already 6 points ahead of Arsenal. You're not going to claw back 9 points. If Liverpool win that game in hand, you're not clawing back 9 points from Liverpool. City haven't got it in them. They are miles off it. I mean, right now, just looking at City's points, 28. That is 14 behind Liverpool and a game played more. So City are done. Finished. Chelsea have started to hit the rocks. They've started to lose a little bit of momentum. It was coming. We expected it. Maresca even called it, didn't he? Again, you cannot just keep solely relying on Cole Palmer. It will get found out eventually. And that loss to Fulham at home and obviously the draw to Everton, teams you'd expect Chelsea to be beaten if they're going to be in a title race. And Maresca got it right. I think he got it right. You could argue that Maresca has definitely put the doubts into players' minds, but I think he's managing expectation more than putting doubts in the players' minds. You could easily say we could go on and win the title, but he knows what his squad is. I think Arsenal with Saka missing, and the point of this is, and this whole story in the paper here, is that, you know what? That's it. That's it for Arsenal. I just don't see them. I don't see them challenging at all without Bukayo Saka in the side. That's how important this story is. That's how important he is missing. Liam, if I'm Arsenal, I'm buying Osimhen. Don't say that because we need him, Liam. Happily, Arsenal don't have much PSR room in January. They are waiting for contracts to expire and sales in the summer to add quality to their team. Yep, I think they've already spent up on in terms of PSR. Not going to be able to replace Bukayo Saka in the transfer window. 100% definitely not. So that's going to be interesting going forward. You got Rose. Why are Newcastle looking at moving Isaac and Guimaraes? Is it a contract thing? It's money. They cannot spend money. If they want to invest in younger players or replace players that are coming into the twilight of their career, they need to sell. If Newcastle want to buy, they have to sell. It's as simple as that. They have probably been hit by PSR harder than everybody else. And yeah, it's a it's a tough one for them because they've got all the money under the sun, yet they cannot spend it. And yeah, I think that's why they're miffed off. I don't think it's long before the Saudis actually test the resolve of the Premier League. And this is why it's probably important with what's going on with City in the Premier League right now. The result from this is massive. If City get away with this, wait to see the Saudis move. I think it will come and come quickly. They won't sit around not being able to spend their wealth. If City get away with these charges, I think Newcastle will test the resolve of the Premier League as well. The Premier League cannot afford to lose this case. If they do, they are going to get an onslaught. They are going to get an onslaught from other owners of clubs, and clubs will try and bend the rules even more. Kaz has set a challenge. I will eat the croissant/brioche bun if we get to 40 likes on the video. So if you haven't liked the video already, everybody, please do. Make sure you hit that subscribe button as well to Football Talks. We are kickstarting the paper round every single Sunday. It is back, people, for the start of the new year. And this is Football Talks. We are going to be doing more and more content on here as well. Let us know what type of content you want. I won't be able to read it out in the live chat. So when the video does finish, please comment below. What type of content would you want us to do? This is our channel. We're starting it from scratch. So we're going to put out a few ideas out there. And if you've got any, get them into the comments below and let me know what you think. What type of content? Is it other team watch-alongs here on YouTube? Is it other special content? Let me know what you think, and obviously keep me informed about what content you've got out there that you like, that you think might work well on here as well. Loving it. We actually have getting close to 150 in the room live with us. The likes are creeping up. Keep them coming, everybody. Ed says, what happens if United loan Joshua Zirkzee out and move Rashford on and Rasmus Højlund gets a Saka-type injury? We are screwed. I think you answered your own question there, mate. In that, yeah, we are screwed. And this is the worry. Like Saka, you look at what Spurs are going through. You look at what United are going through. Key players will completely derail a season. Liverpool, right now, they've had nothing to deal with. And the importance of what I said a minute ago about Liverpool having goals all over, Jota coming back. Like, if they get an injury to any of their forward line, they've got enough to just cover it. And this is why it's important to get good starts to the league as well. Like the first half of the season for Liverpool, they're on track for 90 points plus. Nobody else is anywhere near them. And the start that they've had, I mean, what have they dropped? They've had 3 draws and 1 loss and 13 wins. It's miles above everybody else. Absolutely miles above. That's what good starts to league seasons get you. And I feel like Liverpool have just set out the traps. And even if they got a couple of injuries or had a little bit of bad form, they've got enough in the bank just to see them through. But injuries can absolutely derail everything. I think City's with Rodri. I feel like Spurs with Van der Ven, Arsenal with Saka, all of these teams like this that are challenging or up there, one big player goes down, one key player, it does have a massive effect. Absolutely huge effect on the season. In terms of Manchester United, there is a story in The Sun which is quite amusing this morning, that Massimo Taibe has said that Andre Onana should leave Manchester United. Trust The Sun to bring this one up. Massimo Taibe is in no position to tell any other goalkeeper on the planet, past or present, what to do with their careers. That guy was probably one of the biggest clowns that ever wore the Manchester United goalkeeping jersey. But it just goes to show again, like the talk and the worry and the concern. Ruben Amorim has touched on Andre Onana and how nervous the team is when he gets the ball, how nervous the stadium is when he gets the ball. And we'll see tomorrow, won't we, with what is happening with Manchester United, how he assesses the captain situation. If you do follow me over on FUTV, which I'm pretty certain loads of you do, I've done a couple of shorts recently, one on particular on Bruno Fernandes and the captaincy, and how important it is in who he picks for the captain against Newcastle tomorrow night. Because that, I feel, is going to be a big call for Ruben Amorim and Manchester United. And a lot of fans are probably saying right now, and I said this in the short video I did yesterday, maybe this is the opportunity for Ruben Amorim to actually change the captain permanently. And Bruno has let this team down as a captain this season when you think about it. Breaking records for Obviously, red cards as a captain, that's unthinkable. 3 red cards in a season, and we're only halfway through. Like, Bruno is not that type of man, is he? Bruno is not that type of player. We know that. But still, when you look at that, the ill discipline, the petulance, the poor decision making, the leadership qualities, are we going to see Harry Maguire back in a Manchester United shirt with the captain's armband on against Newcastle? And Ruben Amorim has come out and backed Harry Maguire, saying that he isn't an excused player. He's an example to the rest of the squad. Even when he has a bad game, there's no excuses. I think he is showing leadership skills, but still, never go back. That's what people say, never go back. We will see, won't we? We will see with that one. But yeah, and Massimo Taiba, it's quite comical. And let's be honest, Andre Onana has got to go away yet to get to Massimo Taibi standards, but he is making ground on him right now. I think Manchester United will be looking at another goalkeeper in the summer. I don't know how far the finances stretch. I don't know if they are going to be, if there's going to be enough, but still, United have caused their own problems through recruitment. And it's always going to be an issue. It's always going to be talked about amongst the fans. And I think that United right now are in a position where everything's caught up with them. I think we said this on the morning show on FUTV this morning. We're dealing with mismanagement and issues that were at the club for the last decade that have now come to a head. And we are now where we are in the league because of this. And we're performing like this because of what happened before at the football club. It's as simple as that. You got Rose in the chat. Chat says, I hope he does. Sorry, he said something else there about someone else's. He's a good squad player that seems to understand and perform what Amorim wants. His salary is high for squad player, though, in terms of Harry Maguire. I think we're talking there. Let's just see what else we've got in the chat. What is everyone saying? JT, setting a like challenge for me. I like it. Keep the ideas coming in. Like I said, everybody, get any ideas that you want for Football Talks, content-wise. 12 more likes away from Adam stuffing his face, Kaz says. Now 11 likes away. The realist says, has Bayende surpassed Massimo? I reckon so. Even beats the tough... beats through the leg error. Oh, God, no. Nothing beats that one. Give the video a like, says John. You're getting there, but you're getting there. We have got nearly 150 in the room. The numbers are growing steadily and slowly. I like it. It's actually it's strange actually building a channel up from scratch again after coming from FUTV. It's really interesting. I'm actually really enjoying it and trying to build something up from the bottom again. It's really good. And we love doing the paper round. It was one of the favourites when we did Top of the League. It was one of the favourites when we were doing it on through FUTV as well. So yeah, really looking forward to doing more of it. And there's loads of stories going around in all of the tabloids today. It feels good actually talking about other teams as well and other stuff that's actually going on. There's another one here actually. Call to arms. Newcastle eye shock transfer sweep for Everton ace Dominic Calvert-Lewin, but are prepared to wait until the summer. That is crazy. Honestly, I do not see the appeal in Dominic Calvert-Lewin whatsoever. If I was a Newcastle fan and had seen that, I'd be slightly concerned that Dominic Calvert-Lewin is actually even being mentioned as a transfer target for the summer. No. Injury prone, more headlines off the pitch than on it, and I just don't think he's someone you can build a future around. I don't. I remember when Manchester United were actually linked with Dominic Calvert-Lewin when we were desperate for a striker, just as an option. These are the desperate days, aren't they? When you're looking at Calvert-Lewin as an option, don't rate him at all. I mean, that might just be me. You tell me in the chat. I just don't feel like that Dominic Calvert-Lewin is a Premier League striker. I don't think he's good enough. But hey, look, Newcastle might think he is. Obviously, Callum Wilson with his injuries and everything like that. Yeah, that's it. I mean, I mean, where would you rate Calvert-Lewin? I mean, he's not even in the top 20 strikers in the league for me. I don't see why Newcastle would be going for him. I don't. I think they should be concentrating on trying to keep Isaac in their ranks more than looking at Calvert-Lewin, to be honest. But hey, that is it. Okay, and that is the first paper round show of Football Talks done and wrapped up, everybody. I just wanted to say a massive thank you to you all. We are going to kickstart it. We're going to enhance things. We're going to make things better as we go along, of course. And we're also going to be adding little bits and different elements to the shows as we go. We are just starting out. We're building it up. So your comments and your thoughts are massively important to us. Please give the video a like on the way out. Get your comments in on the video as well after the live is finished. Let me know what you think content-wise and things like that, and all of the topics that we've talked about in the show. Thank you, everybody, for joining us. It's back. Didn't get to eat the brioche because you didn't hit the like mark, I'm afraid, everybody. But next time, maybe we'll get there. And yeah, keep your notifications on as well, and then you will be notified of any content that comes up on Football Talks. It is going to be thick and fast, just like FUTV. And we will have you up to date with everything that is going on in the Premier League. Thank you, everybody. Have a great day. I'll see you all later on, hopefully on FUTV.